Hello guys, welcome to the tutorial on Java Basic, Part 2. Today I will teach you about Java data types. So, let's start. Before starting today's lecture, you should know what a data type is. Generally, the data types define the type of values that can be taken by a variable. For example, a variable having an int data type can only take integer values. Java is a statically typed language. Statically typed means the data type of a variable should be specified or declared before using it, and is known at compile time. There are two kinds of data types, one non-primitive data types, two primitive data types. Let's start with the primitive data type first. Primitive data types are generally used for specifying the size and type of variable values, and it has no additional methods. There are 8 primitive data types in Java which are divided into 3 categories. They are numbers, booleans, and char. Primitive number types are categorized into 2 groups. They are integer types and floating point types. In integer type, a data type can store whole numbers, positive or negative, such as 123 or -456, without decimals. The integer types are divided by using the kind of numeric value, such as byte, short, int, and long. If I have to talk about byte, this can store a whole number between -128 and 127 and can be used instead of other integer types to save memory, when you are certain that the value will be within -128 and 127. The default size of a byte is 1 byte and the default value is 0. If you assign the value out of the range to a variable number, you may get a type mismatch error, such as if you assign 150 as a byte, it will show a mismatch error as the value 150 is out of the range of byte data type. The range of bytes as I mentioned above is -128 to 127. The short data type can store whole numbers from -32,768 to 32,767, and is greater than a byte in terms of size and less than an integer. Its range is 32,768 to 32,767. The default size of a short is 2 bytes and the default value is 0. The int data type can hold whole numbers from -2,147,483,648 to 2,147,483,647. The data type int is the preferred data type while creating variables with a numeric value. The default size of an int is 4 bytes and the default value is 0. Long data type is used when the value is too large that int cannot hold the value. It has wider range than int data type, ranging from 9,223, 372, 036, 854, 775, 808 to 9,223, 372, 036, 854, 775, 807. You should end the value with an L. The default size of a long is 8 bytes and the default value is 0. Talking about the floating point type, this data type assign numbers with a fractional part, containing 1 or more decimals. Float and double are used as floating point data types. The float data type can store fractional numbers having 6-7 decimal digits. The value should be ended with an F. The default size of a float is 4 bytes and the default value is 0.0. The double data type can store fractional numbers having 15 decimal digits. You should end the value with a D. The default size of a double is 8 bytes and the default value is 0.0. But what should you use, float or double? It actually depends on how many digits the value that the user entered has after the decimal point. Float variables can hold only 6 or 7 decimal digits, while double variables can hold 15 digits. However, it is safer to use double for most calculations. Then comes booleans. This data type is declared with the boolean keyword, which can only hold the values either true or false. The default size of a boolean is 1 byte. The char data type is used to store a single character which must be surrounded by single quotes, such as X or Y. The default size of a boolean is 2 bytes. Here come non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types are defined as reference types as they refer to objects. For example, strings, arrays, classes, interface, etc. We will discuss string, arrays, classes, and interfaces later. But what is the difference between primitive data types and non-primitive data types? There are some main differences between primitive data types and non-primitive data types. They are: 1. Primitive types are predefined in Java while non-primitive types are created by the programmer and are not defined by Java except for string. 2. Non-primitive types can be used to call methods to perform certain operations, but primitive types cannot. 3. A primitive type has always a value. On the other hand, non-primitive types can be null. 4. A primitive type starts with a lowercase letter, while a non-primitive type starts with an uppercase letter. 5. The size of a primitive type depends on the data type, though non-primitive types have all the same size. This is for today. I hope you have understood the data types in Java. Thanks for watching and subscribe to my channel for future videos.